Hi, this is Dr. Darnise, and I want to come on and talk to you about the top mistakes that Black people keep making. This may rub some people the wrong way, but you know what? It's been on my heart and mind to say it. There are some mistakes that we as Black people in our Black communities keep making. So I'm going to give you what I think. You can put in the comments if you agree, disagree, you want to add some things that you think that we're making a mistake on. So in no particular order, I think number one, well, I said no particular order. Uncritical allegiance to political party or a religion. Uncritical allegiance to a political party or a religion. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We're in a presidential cycle right now, and the fur is flying about Black people being taken for granted as the Democrats. This is not the first time. We, of course, always hear this conversation about Black people and the Democratic Party. Right now, there's a whole brouhaha about whether or not Biden should step down. The same thing all the time. But my point is bigger than that, bigger than Biden, bigger than this particular election, even. A lot of our history has been when we've had an uncritical allegiance to a political party. And that's been a Democratic Party mostly. Back when Black people were freed off the plantation, Black people were Republicans because Lincoln was a Republican. But that was a different kind of Republican than what we have now. So don't let these contemporary Republicans tell you, oh, we're the party of Lincoln. They're not the party of Lincoln. They're the party of you know who. So our uncritical allegiance has meant that we're losing. We're losing all the time because we have to be critical. We have to be thoughtful about this at all times of the year, all in our local elections. We cannot just go to the top of the ticket every 4 years. All right, there's not a video just about that. I'm doing a countdown. So, uncritical allegiance to political party, also uncritical allegiance to the religion. And y'all know I'm talking mostly Christianity. To be critical does not mean that you have to leave it, does not mean that you have to just trash it. If you're going to stay in the Christian church, then you stay as a prophetic voice. You stay as someone who says, here's the problems that we're having and how do we make it better, right? You don't have to throw babies away with bathwater, right? If you believe in the institution, then strive to make it better. And that goes the same for America in general, right? If you believe in the project that is America, this thing called democracy, then understand that we have to make it a democracy. We have to actively make it a democracy, not expect that other people are going to do it for us. Okay, so that was one point. Another point, not understanding money and credit. This is a mistake Black people make so bad. Not understanding money and credit. Now, I know a lot of us will say, well, that's because a lot of us don't have any money. We've never really had an opportunity to have to think about money and credit and savings account and investments. Well, at this point in the game, it is really up to us to learn the game. This is a capitalist society, and it is no point in us saying, well, capitalism is so evil and I don't want to participate. I'm going to go live off the grid. I mean, if you want to go live off the grid, go ahead. But if you are living in this system, which this is the system we live in, then how do you learn to maximize your money and your credit? Some Black people keep saying, well, I don't want any credit cards. I don't want to be in debt. Let me tell you something. The wealthy people stay in debt. Why? They don't use their own money. Wealthy people don't use their own money. They borrow. So anyway, it's a whole conversation about how Black people can access more wealth, more capital. And that's one of the things that I feel like I keep preaching it. Black people, please establish a corporation, get yourself an LLC, open a bank account with that EIN number they're going to give you, and start building some credit. You would be amazed at how much resources you can get as a business, not an individual. And then you can put all your personal debt, if you have credit cards on your personal, transfer all that to the business. Then your personal credit score skyrockets and you're good. I do a whole class on that. And put in the comments if you want to um, get access to that class. I did it maybe about 2 years ago. So, I'm selling that as a packaged product now. It was a workshop I did. It's a 3-part video series. And if you're interested in that, then put in the comment, yes, I want to know about how to get my money up. But that is a mistake that Black people keep making, is that we don't understand how money works. We don't understand how credit works, and we run from it. We run from it. We run from the banker. We don't want to talk to them. We feel like we don't have anything. There's a lot of shame associated with money, which I get. A lot of shame, about bad credit, bad decisions, whatever it is. But here's the deal. We're all going to die with some debt. The thing is, how do you manage it? We got to learn how to manage it in this capitalist society to your advantage. That's why it's a mistake that Black people keep making, is because Black people tend to run from it, run from the man. They don't want to talk about money and taxes and investments. I'm telling you right now, we see it every day, don't we? The rich get richer. They don't use their own money. They got all kinds of debt. All right. The third one I'm going to give you, well, really, it's two. And actually, I think this is even the biggest mistake that Black people make. I think this is the biggest mistake Black people make. We keep expecting the other people to educate our children. We keep expecting that they're going to give them an adequate, thorough education. Now, y'all know I'm a college professor. I'm a college professor and I teach religion and history. And so I get when kids come into college, I see the gaps and the holes. If you're not on top of your kids' education, which I say all the time, stay on top of your kids' education. What is their actual reading level? Do you ever see them doing homework? Do you ever see them reading a book? How active are you in that process? How active are you in giving them books that talk about our history? With so many of our books being banned now, our actual history being banned, are you proactive? Because why, at this late date, 2024, why do we think that the other people are going to adequately educate our children? That might there be the biggest mistake we make. And Malcolm X said it too. He said it's insanity. And I'm agreeing with Malcolm. And as I said, in the classroom, when young people come to college and I see all that they don't know, and then we can rail against it. How come they're not teaching our kids? How come they're not teaching our kids? They're not going to. How much more evidence do we need that they're not going to? They're not going to. How much more evidence do we need? Which means what? We have to be proactive. We have to really focus with our kids. That's why I gave y'all their reading list. If you didn't get your reading list, I'll put the link to sign up to get that free reading list that I put together. It's the Black Studies reading list. I'll put the link to that in the description box. But and you can just go ahead and sign up for it, and then you'll get it as a PDF in your email. Start with that. If you don't know where to start with that. I have a section on there for young people. Start with that. Just start a practice of reading. Maybe, I don't know, an hour a week. Call it reading hour. That means you need to put down your phone too, and you have to engage with your young people and let them know their reading is important. They read our history because it's literally being erased. As I said, it really may be the top mistake that Black people make, is expecting other people to educate our children adequately. Now, what goes along with that is Black people expecting our jobs, expecting corporations, institutions to honor us, to do right by us. Now, y'all know we have just come through a time in history where, since 2020, where a lot of companies, expanded. They said that we're going to have all these DEI, these diversity positions. We knew that was only going to last for 5 minutes, didn't we? Diversity, equity, inclusion. That was only going to last for 5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes is up. So many companies are already rolling that back. Just today, who did I see? Microsoft has already rolled back their DEI position. They fired people in those positions. They said that it is no longer a business priority to have diversity, to focus on diversity. It is no longer a business priority to focus on diversity, which means what? We see what happens when we don't have any emphasis on diversity. We see what happens. The top rung of leadership is white and generally male. We already have seen that movie. We know that. Okay, so as Black people, my point is we keep making the mistake of thinking that expecting the companies to be equitable. That's not what it's about. Get your paycheck and just know that's not what this is. The workplace is not what that is. So, what should we do? Have more of our own businesses. Yes, we need to have more of our own businesses. Now, everybody's not cut out to be an entrepreneur, and I understand, right? But also understand, like, it does not make sense to cry about what those other people are doing or not doing. It's best for us to build our own and to invest in our own. So now, kind of sound like a Black nationalist, right? Marcus Garvey and the Nation of Islam and all them. It makes sense for us to take care of ourselves, because to invest our hopes and dreams in a corporation or an institution and think that they're going to love us back, that's not what they're designed to do. They're designed to make money at all costs. Please be clear about that. It's not their desire or their main focus to prioritize our needs. And it's up to us to recognize, oh, that's not what this is. I may as well not take home extra work. I may as well not pour myself into my job because I see what this is. I just get my paycheck. Okay. And I invest in my own community. I invest in my own children because I'm not going to rely upon this system to adequately educate my children. Whatever they get at school, I'm giving them more at home. I'm giving them more at home. And that's where we have to be very proactive in our lives. So that's the three I wanted to give you. And maybe I'll do a part two, depending on what y'all write me in the comments. What do you think? Is there another mistake that you think Black people that we're making as a community? And, what do you think are some solutions if you have some solutions? I think the solution is to circle the wagons and pour into ourselves. And we have to be smart about it, and we have to invest our money in it. That's why I say it's very important that we get our money and our credit together, right? And the best way to do that is to start your own business. Now, if you want a consultation, especially that money piece, one, I said you can put in the comments that you want that money workshop that I did. Or you might say to yourself, well, I prefer to have a consult because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, you'll see a link there for consultations also. All right, bye for now.